getting into our champion select for game 2, and it looks like our sides are actually staying the same here. I think LGD opting to stay on the blue side for game 2, want that first pick, so we'll have to see what they look to try and prioritize. But as far as bans go, only thing changing up on their side is they are going to be banning out the Rek'Sai from Karsa. That was deemed a little too disgusting. RNG, on their hand, they say, all right, you're going to take rid of our Rek'Sai, we'll get rid of the Lucian. And lock in an Olaf here on the side of LGD.
And this is where it kind of comes a bit of a toss-up, because when you look at Rek'Sai being banned away, the next few junglers that you kind of look at are the likes of, the Sejuani, these kind of guys. And Olaf does incredibly well into them, but when you do that, you leave so many big picks over towards the side of RNG, and Silas is going to be picked up straight off the bat.
Yeah, Silas is going to be picked up here. Hovering the Nidalee. I would be impressed. I would be shocked. I would be very happy. Or Kane, too. I would be happy. Karsa, you're playing with my heart. Oh, going with the Lee Sin. All right. That's fine, I guess.
Yeah. I was actually hoping for the Kane as well. This is a bit of a solo queue special at the moment. Kane can deal a heap of damage, as well as just be incredibly strong as you start to get towards the red Kane and get that tanky stats coming through. But we will be seeing instead the Karsa going on towards that Lee Sin. Again, all about this early aggression, seeing if they can take control of the early game. But with Conde on this Olaf, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to do. It will mean that Nico slips through the draft phase, though, and will end up over in the hands of LGD. And with Sivert locked in here as well, I would assume that RNG are going to want to go either a very aggressive support here to make sure that's not paired with the likes of a Yuumi. And locking in that Xayah means that we're probably going to see a Yuumi ban from the side of RNG, and possibly a Rakan ban coming through from LGD.
Possibly here, as that's going to be the Xayah, like you mentioned, getting locked in for RNG. We'll see if LGD are able to get their cat composition and just run directly at you. We talked about simple team fights. This one's a little more simpler. You just run at them. That's the secret there, Gosu.
Yeah.
You pop the Sivir ultimate, you pop the Ragnarok, you pop the Pop Blossom, you just run directly at them and hope for the best. We'll have to see, though. Like you mentioned, Rakan, though, is going to get banned out here by LGD.
Yeah, and I think they're just trying to get rid of anything that can be aggressive in the bottom lane. Wouldn't be surprised to see the Nautilus banned away as that last one as well, especially since you're going to have RNG being able to pick up the support first in this role, in this draft phase. So I think that would be the best option for them here. You can see RNG still trying to figure out what the best option is, and there it is. The Yuumi's going to be banned away.
Yeah, so no cat. It's going to get put away for now. For LGD, what is their final ban going to be? Like you mentioned, could decide to go toward a aggressive support pick, similar to the Rakan, or decide to go for something else here. Is that mid lane or top lane could be flexed here for RNG. We don't know exactly where that Silas could end up going. Could go for Xiaohu, could go for Lang X. It's going to be the LeBlanc, though, getting banned out by LGD in case that was the option they were deciding to go for. So for RNG now, what do you want to try and secure here before LGD maybe take it away?
It's pretty much your choice of between your whatever sport. I was actually going to say maybe the Nautilus or the Galio, but it looks like Ming going back to what they had great success on against WE, in their last game, which was that Alistar, as we said already, came out with 4 kills on this Alistar in the early stage of the game, and particularly against the Sivir. Alistar works wonders there.
We'll see here. Nautilus being hovered is going to get locked in here by LGD. Now for their final pickup, can look toward their top lane or possibly go for a very weird flex if this Taliyah is the case. Would be a bit of a toss-up here from LGD if they decide to lock this in. Instead, though, they're going to shift their attention maybe over toward the Akali, a little bit more what we'd expect.
Yeah, and this again gives them the flexibility to really start to decide where they want to control these picks. Jace is another option that they've gone for here, and it still leads into my point, which is you can either pop that Jace in towards the mid lane, have the Nico go towards the top, or vice versa. So you still get a kind of a quote-unquote better matchup for LGD, whichever way you decide to let the cookie crumble. I think looking at this bottom lane, though, you're in a little bit of a harsh situation here, just simply because Alistar can have great engage onto the Sivir, and I was kind of hoping that they'd go for the Braum instead of the Nautilus here, simply to try and stop that follow-up CC that can come in from the Xayah. But if they decide to go with the Naut instead, which means that you'll see Kramer playing a little bit on the back foot here to make sure that they're not getting caught out by multiple forms of CC that the RNG bot lane are bringing.
We'll see here, final pick For Lang X, gonna be the Renekton once again. Saw it in that first game, did all right. Gonna go ahead and use it one more time. Is gonna be played here into possibly the Nico up in top lane from Lies. So looks like they're gonna flex that Jace toward the mid lane here. They only got 7 seconds to swap, so it looks like Yuki's gonna be on the Jace.
Yeah, and I like this pickup here. You still get the range advantage against the Sylas to try and abuse in that mid lane matchup, but it also means that Nico's got a little bit of a better time up. Actually, I take that back. I'm surprised. Jace generally does okay against the Renekton, especially since he's got the disengage coming through from the Hammer Form E. So, yeah. No, yeah, I was kind of agreeing with him there, but yeah, now that I think about it more, I would have preferred to see the Jace go up against that Renekton. Yeah. Take it all back. No.
We're already going back on our analysis. All right, perfect. It wouldn't be the unofficial broadcast without a little bit of that. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's just you try to give them the benefit of the doubt sometimes, but yeah, I think in certain situations, LGD's drafts haven't worked out the best for them, and I'm hoping now that this isn't going to be another situation where they find themselves at in a bit of a bed that they've laid for themselves they don't really want to be in, simply because Lies is getting caught out by Lang X, and we already said it, Karsa on an early aggressive jungler like Lee Sin can definitely get up there and punish that Nico pick.
We'll have to see here. We're going to go ahead and load on into game 2 with the magical Mercedes across your screen that has fire and smoke coming out from the top. I don't think you want that on your Mercedes. I'm just saying.
No.
I don't think you want fire on your car.
Cars. Yeah.
Like, if there's fire coming out from
fire on this.
Coming out from underneath it, that's a concern. If it's painted on, it makes the car go faster. Don't get me wrong. I fully
yeah, exactly.
agree.
It's like The Simpsons, where you slam a few holes into the hood of it to give it air flow to get through going faster. Get the flames on it and you're going great. The only time I've seen a car on fire is like GTA, and it's never been a good situation.
Could hear the war drums coming out from LGD's home arena as they looked for an invade there. Getting hype, crowds getting back into it. They haven't lost hope. They're LGD fans. If we can ask Jenny all about being an LGD fan, there's never any lost hope, only disappointment.
Yeah. Sound like my parents. But
oof! It hurts! Glacial Augment going to come out from Lies there on the Nico, so it's not looking like it's going to be an on-hit. It will be an AP likely build, because otherwise that would be a very wasteful augment. And man, LGD, they're going for this. Karsa on his wolf camp, going to get snared. That should at least force him to start the ward jump, so his safeguard's going to be the first thing popped out, and LGD should be able to get themselves a quick little steal.
Yeah, Conti getting one back now on Karsa after that last game. It's going to cause a little bit of a fluctuation in power in that bottom lane where RNG should get the early push, but they're actually being very careful as to where Conti's going to go here, so they're not going to go over aggressive. But it will mean that Karsa has to try and clear themselves. It's not the worst thing, because if you do start yourself, you usually do want to start with that W, get the shield and a little bit of extra healing in, but it's not ideal start at all for RNG.
We'll see here. It's going to be Condi still walking away here with a Gromp as well. So just going to do a full clear. Karsa immediately answering for his blue buff after the red. So just going to try and equal that out. Doesn't get 3 buffs. So a little bit of a nice recovery here. No one going down on the side of RNG during that invade. So they'll be happy with how things are panning out here. Just means Condi will have a little bit of an advantage until he goes on back and Karsa is able to get himself some farm. We could see Condi going for a play here toward the bot lane. We'll see if Ming ends up using his combo. I think they're going to try and wait to see if he does. Ming going to show up, and that's going to be... Oh my goodness! RD! What was that? Uzi's just going to get dunked in. Oh, that was dirty. What did I just see?
That was disgusting. RD. I don't know if they meant that. I'm not 100% sure, but look, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt because that was sick. Being able to flash over the headbutt pulverized combo, manages to get onto Uzi, and you can see Uzi just accepts their fate then at that point. You know what? You can't ruin a man's day after a play like that. Gives over the kill.
I don't know how that even works, to be honest, because he like threw the animate. Oh my lord, Xiaohu in mid lane though on the Silas, ripping apart the Jace with the chains. Explosive start here in game 2 from both squads.
And Zhao who picking up a solo kill is absolutely fantastic for RNG, particularly after they haven't had the best start in the early stages of the game thanks to a nice invade from LGD. They're losing out on the bottom side of the map, but having Zhao who secure that gives a little bit more control for them on the map. You've got a strong mid laner now who can try and help out in some of these early skirmishes. And Yuki, unfortunately, we're saying maybe we wanted this Jace to go top lane. We were saying because we wanted a better matchup against the Renekton. Looks like Yuki's struggling a little bit in this lane regardless.
Yeah, he's going to let that stall out. Let's go ahead and take a quick look here at that 1v1 here from Zhao, who just full all in. Yuki can't really do anything at that point.
Yeah, there's not a huge amount that you really can do, and well played by Zhao to realize exactly where their limits were as well. Flashing in to get that kill secured them quite a bit. But now we got to see if they can try and continue to punish that, or what they can try and gain from that. I'd like to see Karsa did manage to get a good amount of jungle on their top side of the map and also completely cleared out the LGD's blue side. So it means that they're not too far behind. And also, we were talking already about how they could get up and try and punish Lies on this Nico pick. They still got control over the top side of the map and can still look for that play.
See here, still 1-1. So only a slight advantage in favor of LGD after they were able to get that first blood in the bot lane. 5 minutes. Mountain Drake is available for the teams if they want to start possibly doing early positioning for that. We'll have to see. Condi still going for the invades here on this Olaf, though, trying to play toe-to-toe with Karsa, who's just farming up towards top side and going to try and answer, but there isn't really anything for him to take in that jungle other than maybe the wolves.
Yeah, I mean, they're fighting over any kind of scraps that they can get at this point, and I mean, I think it's just trying to solidify which jungler can actually take control, and this has been a battle that we saw even come over from game 1, is just try and steal away whatever camps you can, set behind the jungler even a little bit, and see if you can pick up an advantage through there.
We saw RD, he was looking for a possible roam up toward mid lane, just trying to zone out. That's going to allow, oh, Lang, gotta be careful here. No ignite from Lies, so can't secure that kill, but Lang X getting a little too comfortable possibly up in that top lane.
Yeah, and this was a matchup that we were hoping Lang X would be able to take control of, but a lot of poke can come down from this Nico, and you see it there. Unfortunately, Lang X not really able to deal with it. And I mean, when you're in ignite range against the Nico, you're pretty much at a death's door at that stage.
We'll see here. That's going to be first Mount Drake going over to LGD, though. They'll have that for themselves. We do see Karsa maybe looking for a play here in mid. Is just going to go ahead and channel the back. Condi is nearby, so we'll see whether or not they decide to go for this. Karsa's going to show himself. They go for a jump on in, but Zhao, who's taking a lot of damage, and oh my goodness, it's enough to take him down. Yuki's going to survive. Here comes Lang X, though, is going to go ahead and pop the ultimate. Rest of the team looking to rotate on over. RG trying to run interference in the middle of 2 members, though, and RNG are just going to clean up scraps, it seems, and unfortunately for LGD, not what they were looking for. Yuki should be able to escape.
I'm not going to lie to you. My screen has been frozen for the last 2 minutes.
What?
And I'm not able to see what's happening.
How is it frozen? I still have you. Is it better now? Do you got?
All I can see is Condi trying to clear out the grump buff or the grump. Sorry.
Do you have a feed now?
I'm still frozen, so I might have to try and reload this. See if I can.
Let me just check this. Gonna go quickly here. Quick replay in that mid lane. As you would expect there. I haven't had this bug happen in a while. Anything there? No, you might have to reconnect. All right.
Okay, good. I'm going to relog this call.
Go ahead. So, Gosu's going to drop down. I didn't realize that he was frozen for the last 2 minutes. He could have told me a little sooner. Oh, that's hilarious. All right. He'll be joining us back in a sec. Still, LGD, unfortunately, down in kills and not down in gold, though. Still have a slight advantage for themselves. Lang X is just going to go ahead. I see Gosu is back in the call. Do you got a feed there, bud?
I don't. I've got pretty much a technical thing on my screen that's not letting me see anything.
That is a bit weird. I'll do you a favor and I'll give you a new link. How about that? We'll do that.
Okay, cool. Perfect.
Of course. Meanwhile, LGD looking to try and fight here toward this blue buff, trying to contest into RNG's jungle. There's a ward right on top of that. RD's going to come around toward the side. It's going to be a flash on forward. Going to be the hook, and Karsa's going to get taken down, and LGD finding themselves a quick quick invade on there and getting the kill, so nicely done by them. And that's going to feel pretty good for themselves here as LGD go up by 800 gold. Still a lot of work to do. Still very early on in the game, though, and RNG could easily climb their way back into this one. But nice early signs. We were talking a little bit before the show, me and Gosu. You know, we wanted to see Condi be a little bit more proactive, try and go for a little bit more plays. Now he's sitting with all the kills in his pocket as LangX trying to get aggressive. I see Gosu back in the feed there. We'll see here, though. I hear him. I don't know if he hears me. He might not hear me. Does he hear me now? He probably does.
I can hear you now.
Hey, there we go. Oh, this is what happens when the show was not supposed to go today.
I think it shows how useless my job is, though, that I was able to go for 3 minutes without actually having a feed.
You're just able to kind of, you know, low-key just pretend it's working. Yeah. And it's perfect. Worst case, you could have just watched the Twitch stream, and I probably would have been the wiser.
Yeah, true.
I would have
just give out analysis in real time. It would have been fine.
Perfect. Easy. What could possibly go wrong here? All right. Well, to catch you back up, as you can see, LGD sitting 1,500 gold up after that quick invade onto Karsa. And I was mentioning, you know, me and you were saying we wanted to see Condi be proactive here in Game 2 compared to what we saw in Game 1. Well, he's got all 3 kills for LGD, so he seems to be listening to the advice.
Yeah, and I mean, it's working out wonders for them. Going towards this style as well means that they've got as you're saying, the run-down composition that can be very difficult for RNG to deal with. Uzi, kind of the Feather Storm will help out a little bit in dissuading that, but you can get a lot of damage off. You can't get the CC that you really want off against Condi, and if Lies can find a decent way into these team fights off on the flank, that could spell absolute disaster for RNG. So this is where we got to start watching Ming. See if they can get the vision control down. See if they can start to get some roaming in place and maybe help out in getting RNG back into this game.
That's going to be scuttle secured, one for each team, as LGD doing that very early rotation up toward top lane from their bot lane, so wanting to prioritize toward that Rift Herald as they did secure it there, so Condi's going to have that available. We'll see if they're able to utilize it effectively, maybe find a quick kill and then look for a quick push. See how RNG looks to respond here, as Yuki got to be a little bit careful. Does have support though, so Xiaohu might be biting a little bit off if he continues to push on forward, as RNG already doing a quick read here. They saw that Rift Herald be taken, and no trigger pull here from LGD.
No, nothing really there whatsoever, but LGD trying to see if they can get up towards this top lane instead. They know that Karsa isn't going to be in a position to try and go against this. Condi and Yuki are here throwing down the Rift Herald pretty much straight off the bat. Yeah,
it's going to be Rift Herald used immediately. With 2 or 3 members up there, they might be able to. It looks like they just want to crack open some of those turret plates to try and get that gold onto Kramer a little bit earlier. So that's going to be a nice chunk of gold. It does go over toward Condi. That is going to be an engage, though, coming out from Ming. He's going to pop his ultimate in response. Uzi's going to get knocked up. No one going to get taken down, though. RNG are able to defend the tower. Xiaohu was possibly thinking of coming up to help, but decides to back off and go around back in toward the mid lane. Lies. Just going to check that brush, sees an alligator, and decides to back off.
They do manage to get a huge amount of those turret plates, though, which was really the big win there. It was shared between several members, but the great thing about the Rift Herald is that once you throw them down and you're still that pre-14-minute mark, you're able to get a bunch of extra gold flooding into your accounts, and it looks like Sivir has utilized that to finish off this Essence Reaver. Will be matched by Uzi, but look at the coal that's sitting there as well. This is a lot of gold that Kramer has suddenly managed to gain for themselves.
Oh, look at RD, though. He's coming in pretty fast, has those Mobies completed, and just can walk up to Xiaohu. Karsa does come in there with the safeguard. That's a flash on forward in the bot lane, though, and LangX getting a little bit in trouble here. We'll see if Uzi's able to occupy it to come over toward the side. Uzi's able to get down the damage, and Karsa with the kickback. That's going to be a double kill going on to Lang.
And I was about to praise LGD here for keeping control of that river area, pushing RNG back, but they take that step too far forward, go in towards the darkness, and they get that gray screen coming up for them as well. Just that over-aggression punishes LGD and gives RNG the opportunity to try and make something happen. But Ming, where are you going, buddy?
Oh, Ming, get a little bit too risky. Karsa's just going to jump into 3 members. Uzi's over toward the side, has that Featherstorm, is going to use it. Karsa's still alive, keeping them occupied. But here comes that teleport. Meanwhile, Xiaohu on the Silas looking to rip them apart. Unfortunately, Lies not able to finish off the kill completely onto Uzi. As Uzi's trying to run for the hills, he'll get taken down by the auto attacks. But meanwhile, here comes the rest of the squad from the side of RNG. And Xiaohu with a triple kill once again, coming out huge on the Silas.
And I think people just aren't respecting how much this Silas can do. LGD think that they've got the pick onto Ming. They do manage to get the kill, but end up gifting so many others back. It just seems like this RNG jungle right now is spelling disaster for the side of LGD. They cannot go over aggressive into the jungle because we said already there's a huge amount of CC that can come through, a lot of early damage, and Zhao Hu is the beneficiary when all is said and done.
Yeah, so they're very aggressive, and sure, you got themselves some turret plates, but if you keep diving into that jungle, you're just going to give away that gold. So LGD, they had themselves a good start. You had the Olaf sitting on 3 kills. It felt good. Let's take another look here, because this was a bit of a weird one from both squads.
Yeah, I didn't understand why Ming was walking up here, especially when they don't have the unbreakable wheel. You're just asking to get picked off. They see that Uzi's trying to collapse here, so LGD decide to run back down towards the river to try and help out. Karsa, he tries to get the kill as well onto Kramer, but they just don't have the damage. And I think it was trying to wait for Zhao Hu to wander up, but unfortunately it's a little bit too late. And then it's pretty much just cleanup crew here. Lies does manage to get the kill onto Uzi, but Zhao Hu manages to finish off everything.
Yeah, nicely done there as Yuki does get to safety, but now 4 kills on that. Silas has the pro belt complete and that lost chapter. Gonna continue building up here. So we'll see how this goes. RNG opting though to get occupied here toward that mid lane. Dragon's gonna get started by LGD. This will be the first Ocean Drake for them in this game, and they secure themselves both dragons here in game 2, so getting themselves some nice objective control. They've been able to get the Rift Herald, but teleport's coming in. Pop Blossom going to be used here by Lies, looking for a disengage. He's going to sacrifice himself as Zhao Hu's going to pick up the kill.
Yeah, they didn't even want to attempt to fight there. It was a great call from RNG, realizing, look, we've got the beefier front line here. If we can get a couple of members to separate out LGD, we can pick off one. It is going to be Lies. Tries to get the damage down with the Pop Blossom. And to be fair, got a decent chunk of damage down onto some of the members of RNG, but the rest of LGD were not in a position to follow up.
Nicely done there. RNG looking for their first tower. It is going to get taken, though, by LGD. Xiaohu's going to get the solo gold, though, down toward that ball lane. So the Silas just getting more and more gold injected into the build very early here. It's only 16 minutes. He's sitting on 5 kills. Flying X as well. Let's take a look here. Sitting on 1,500. He's almost got a 2,000 gold lead over the Jace in the mid lane. Uzi just a little bit behind in gold themselves. But other than that, RNG, they got the gold where they want it. They got it onto that top lane. They got it onto the mid lane, the Silas. So this mid-game spike that we always talk about with RNG, it's looking pretty good.
And don't forget as well, I mean, Zhao Hu's the one that's pretty fed, and they've got that Pop Blossom to try and steal away as well. So it's not like they don't have an ultimate that can really work in team fights. If you get a 5-kill Silas with a Pop Blossom, you're going to see exactly how much damage that ultimate can do. And that's a terrifying prospect for LGD, especially when we're talking about, look, yeah, the CC isn't really going to do particularly much to them because you're going to have Condi, have the Ragnarok to avoid most of that. But if you just kill him, I mean, that works as well.
See here. X is going to go ahead and clear out the wave. Now I'm just... you mentioned the ultimates. Now I'm just thinking of the Silas interaction with Mordekaiser. That's just going to be hilarious. Oh, boy.
Do you know what the best one was?
What's the best
Yumi,
one?
I saw one clip where Yumi got brought... So Yumi was attached to the AD carry who got brought into the Shadow Realm of Mordekaiser. Mm-hmm. But the Yumi never came back out of the Shadow Realm. She was just
the cat just gets left in the Shadow Realm. Yeah. Oh my God. That just sounds so sad.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, well, guess this is my life now. It's like, I'm not going anywhere.
I guess I'll sit here and wait for the Pharaoh to save me. Oh, jeez. 6-9 the kills in favor of RNG. It's a 1,300 gold lead. It's going to be another Ocean Dragon later on here. We're also going to have Baron joining us in a minute and a half. So neither team really what you would say Baron melters, because you don't have that on-hit Nico. Still a little bit before that Sivir does a ton of damage. Look at this. Nice roam coming out from RNG. This flank going here directly onto Yuki. He's going to try and bat away the cow. Unfortunately, he's going to get taken down very quickly here. Oh no, Karsa ends up missing the Q. Yuki, he's going to just get a little bit of damage. Can't survive though, as he's going to burn out to the Ignite. And they're just going to dive underneath the tower, as Karsa is going to be able to pick up the kill and is able to use the stopwatch. And with minions down here, they just got themselves 2 kills. The 80 carries are all the way up toward top lane. RNG could possibly look at maybe this inhibitor. Instead, they're going to back off, opting to say this may be a little too early to take this.
Yeah, they're deciding to back up, see if they can spend that gold just before the Baron that you talked about is coming up now in just less than 40 seconds. I thought that was a little bit greedy from Yuki, though. Had the flash available, should have been able to dodge away from Ming's headbutt and then get the knockback, but unfortunately tries to outplay it with just the knockback itself, ends up costing them quite a bit there. And even with the flash burn, they're not able to escape. RNG pick up the 2 kills, pick up the tower, and this is where RNG start to get a bit scary. When they're the ones that have control of the map, they start to make the plays, and a lot of them will be off the back of Ming. This is why Alistair is so terrifying when it goes into the hands of Ming, is you never know where Ming is just going to pop up and ruin your day.
There, Uzi going to go ahead, clear out the mid lane and head on back himself quite shortly. Like you mentioned, we want to see what this goal is going to be. Shahu is actually going to go ahead and steal away the Nautilus ultimate. I'll be frank, I don't know what that lower graphic says. I'm not too sure. Chinese isn't that good yet. I don't know how what the lower bar means, because it equals to more than 100%. So I'm not too sure how that works.
It's about the effort that's been given on both sides.
Okay.
It's more
effort.
than 110%.
It's overall effort in the game. They're only sitting at 70 now. They got to pick it up here.
Yeah, true, actually, to be fair.
Yeah, like, geez, only 75% effort? No wonder. Guys, it's summer. This is the split that matters. All right? MSI, sure, EU won, but it's not like it's the World Championship.
I will see when we get to EU, but we'll also see what Condi can do when we start to move forward here. In a little bit of trouble, I thought, for a second, but Ming decides not to commit towards that play.
We'll see here, LGD going for a possible quick pick. RD looking for a nasty Nautilus hook. Was close, but Karsa got to safety with the safeguard. 5 members of LGD, they're grouped up together, funneling in. Ming's gonna go for a flash knock-up, and that's gonna be the Nautilus ultimate used on both ends. And here comes Lang X onto the backline. Kramer has a spell shield, though, able to avoid the stun, but not able to disengage fully here, as RNG are gonna continue to pick apart members. Lies is stuck in the middle of the team. He's gonna get taken on down as another double kill for the Renekton.
And this is where you start to see the issues with LGD. Condi goes forward. They've also got the help of Lies there to try and take out Uzi, but they're not able to take them down fast enough. A huge amount of resources committed from LGD to try and take them out on the top side of that fight, which means that the rest of LGD can't really do too much, especially when you're up against the great engage that comes through from Ming. Karsa working wonders on the bottom side of the fight. And it means that it's another win for RNG, and they manage to pick off the Drake as well afterwards.
I'll see here as we take another quick look at this fight. Ming with the flash engage on the All-Star.
As you can see, Condi and Lies commit towards the top side of the fight, but it means that there's a numbers disadvantage on the bottom side here. They're desperately trying to shut out Kramer, but it doesn't really matter. Even if they don't manage to do so, they get on towards the Jace, they get the kill there, and Lies has pretty much a one-way ticket into that fight, flashing over the wall, and RNG punish accordingly.
Yeah, you got a one-way ticket. Don't have a way of getting back home. Even with the Zhonya's completed, the rest of the team was not too keen on helping out, leaving their Nikio out to die. So we'll see what LGD can do here. RNG sitting at about a 3,500 gold lead. Oh, RD goes for a ride. Gets the safety there from Ming. I think he's going to be in all chat there saying, thanks, but I really messed up on that one. Ming not able to fully get the combo off there. So RD gets a free escape ticket. Oh.
Look, I think all transportation should be banned from the LGD side. No flashing in aggressively. You don't want to be hooking yourself into walls. I actually thought in that previous fight, I was going to say RD needs to be careful because sometimes if you're in these jungle situations, you try to land a hook, it doesn't quite work out. You find yourself being roped into a situation you don't want to be in. But as you're saying, good guy Ming goes, look, I'm not going to embarrass you like this. Come on, supports, we got to stick together.
We'll see here. So, nothing going to come out of that fight, only a little bit of a laugh on both sides. We'll take a look at the items here on both. It's going to be Kramer finishing off the Essence Reaver, still working toward likely that Infinity Edge as this next item. Sitting on 2,000 gold, so should be able to finish it off here on the next back. Just needs another couple minions. Still sitting a little bit ahead of Uzi. The big disparity, though, is that 2,000 gold lead in the mid lane. As Xiaohu on the Silas has now the Zonias completed, has the Proto Belt, looking toward his next item as well, as Yuki only has that Ghost Blade and some components for a bunch of other items. Has, you know, the Serrated Dirk for the Armor Pen. He's got a Hex Drinker, he's got a Phage. He's just kind of getting all these components. He hasn't been able to get to that next item just yet.
Well, I mean, which really looks more menacing? One big sword or three, like a hammer, a dirk, a sword as well? Like, I mean, he's just trying to look as menacing as possible when you look at his inventory, you know?
He's like, I have items. They don't go together yet. I'll show you the magic.
But fear me.
Fear me and my energy blast from afar. What do you think about Jace? Like, sure, he has a hammer, so maybe the phage like works, but when he turns it into the rage form, like, you know, it's a hammer on its side. I don't know if phage actually does anything, you know, thematically.
I mean, look, if we started really looking at the items when it starts coming to
like, you know,
thematics, it wouldn't really work out, you know.
You know, but, you have boots that make you attack faster. I don't know why boots and a dagger go together. Spiky boots.
It prods you in the side to remind you to keep moving and to do stuff quicker.
Jeez, that just sounds horrible.
But no, I think, like, overall, I understand where the Jace is coming from. You kind of need a lot of bits and pieces here to survive what's happening from RNG. The Phage gives you a little bit more speed up in these team fights to try and avoid a lot of the CC that RNG are throwing your direction. You want the Hex Drinker because you're up against a very strong Silas in that mid lane, so you need that early little bit of help there. And it just means that Yuki hasn't really been able to complete some of these big items that you would have liked to see, where that accelerated shock blast really starts to hurt. You can see there, connects onto Ming, doesn't really do a huge amount, but at least they will be able to get the turret off.
Yeah, they find RNG, all the team members ending up backing or going into the jungle to farm. That gives them the opportunity to crack open this mid lane tower here. So a nice little opportunity secured there by LGD as they hold their own. So with that, they can maybe try and get some vision into that river, possibly around the Baron. They get a little bit more control. It is an Infernal Drake that has spawned, and that would give them 3 Elemental Drakes overall. They also get themselves the quick tower pick up onto the bot lane. So RNG feeling like they aren't really doing a whole lot here. They're kind of letting LGD get some gold that's been left open on the map, and LGD are finding their ways to get it.
I don't know if they should be posturing this aggressively here in the mid lane, though. Lies is still in the base.
Yeah, you know, they're getting confident, maybe a little too confident.
Yeah, I don't know if this is how aggressive I would have liked to see them go, but they don't get punished from it. RNG weren't sure where Lies was, so they don't have vision in that river. Weren't sure if they're going to be making their way up from that bottom lane. But LGD here, do have the Twin Shadows go out. Might be looking to try and start something here.
Xiaohu got to decide what he wants to do here. Still waiting a very long time, and LGD, they pulled the trigger. They used the Sivir ultimate to try and get some damage off. Xiaohu's slowly sneaking his way over. He's just hiding down in this red brush, waiting to see if anyone's going to come out and take a look here. Now he decides to go in, can look to try and steal away the Nico ultimate. LGD, though, they spot him out, so Xiaohu has to back off here.
Yeah, Twin Shadows will spot them out, slow them down just a little bit, which means they mightn't be able to get into this fight. RD is trying to get in aggressively.
Ooh. Not able to land the hook just there. Now they decide to regroup. Xiaohu not able to steal away an ultimate just yet. That's going to be the Nautilus ultimate coming on in. Gets the double knockout there. And Xiaohu, you can take it down extremely low. Karsa's trying to get over to safety. Able to get to the blast cone, but he can't get away from Yuki, who flashes on forward and finishes him off with an auto attack. And that would be an Infernal Drake now going in favor of LGD. It feels like RNG have given LGD almost too much respect, or they're just playing with their food at this point, because LGD, they've bit back.
RNG had a great idea there, but unfortunately with the composition that LGD have, it doesn't really work out. So the idea was to get Xiaohu into the back line, steal away lives with Pop Blossom, and then have that big team fight. It looks amazing. Things are all flashy, and RNG come out of it and not looking at the explosion behind them because they're all cool guys. But unfortunately, LGD have the slows that are coming through from the Twin Shadows, which means that they spot out Xiaohu nice and early, but the slow stops them from getting involved, or stops Xiaohu from getting involved. Kramer had that on the hunt as well for that initial little scuffle that they had, which meant again Xiaohu was trying to catch up, but unfortunately just didn't have the legs to try and get there, and it meant that LGD were able to take a fight before Xiaohu could really get in. And when you're playing 4v5 and without the most fed member on RNG right now, it's easy for LGD to pick off 1 or 2 members.
So nicely done there by LGD. They get themselves the 3rd elemental Drake for themselves in this game. It's going to be Infernal, so they get a little bit of extra damage in their pocket. They're going to be feeling pretty happy with that one, as Yuki's going to go on back to base. We'll see if he's able to finally complete one of those items he's had components for. There it is. He's going to get himself the Black Cleaver, so going to have some armor penetration there. Xiaohu steals away the Nautilus ultimate as RNG look to position themselves possibly up toward this Baron as they're looking to get vision down.
And this is where it starts to get a little bit dangerous, because we're also looking at Sivir, who we kind of accredit with being, the 4, 5, 6 item AD carry. You're really starting to get there for Kramer, and the positioning from Kramer in these team fights has been incredibly strong. So I'm a little bit worried that now that the damage is starting to rack up for this LGD side, RNG might have missed a window of opportunity. If they can still get these big engages coming in from Ming and Xiaohu, though, that can change very quickly.
There you go, Xiaohu. He's got the Nautilus ultimate available. That's going to be a flash over on the side. They just blow him up! Silas, he can't use the ultimates when he's dead, and Lang X went for a teleport from behind, but now that it's at a disadvantage, it'd be a 5v4. RNG, they can't pull the trigger, and that's the issue with this Silas. If you're not able to actually get the ultimate off, you're pretty much useless.
And the issue here as well is that LGD have so much mobility coming through from on the hunt. You got the acceleration gate. It makes it incredibly hard for the rest of RNG to catch up. So if you go for these flank plays, you got to be playing a little bit closer together than you would usually have to, just because of the speed LGD can turn and collapse onto a single member.
See here is they're possibly looking to set up a Baron. They're looking to try and deny some vision, though RNG do have that control ward, so they know that LGD aren't really doing a whole lot here, and possibly looking at some backs, so they're not going to go for a direct Baron right away, as Karsa is still alive. Not confident just yet, but LGD is starting to feel like they have a bit more control in this game, as RNG has let it slip quite a little bit here. And Xiaohu, we praised him early on in the game, but these flanks, these opportunities, like you mentioned, looking for this perfect fight. Perfect fight isn't always going to happen, and you can't always expect it to.
Yeah, as Captain Flowers says, you need to dot your I's and X your D's, because right now, LGD get the play, but can't go for the Baron because of that single ward. RNG know that they're safe to not go in towards that area because the Baron hasn't been started. And on the opposite side, RNG keep going for these flank plays, but they're just a little bit too uncoordinated. You have Xiaohu going in too aggressively before the rest of the team are in place. Lang X has the teleport going down, but it's just literally a second or two too late, and that's all that LGD need to expose the heart of RNG. They pick off a few kills, and now they've got control again of that Baron area.
See here as they're looking to position themselves up toward the top side of the map. Still some vision coming out from LGD as they deny it away from RNG, as they position themselves straight down this mid lane once again. And Uzi's going to look for the back. He's able to get it. We also got Kramer now finishing off the Guardian Angel for himself, so the Sivir can look to try and survive a fight. Usually if you get killed, though, very easily, it's usually pretty quickly you're going to get killed once again, but we'll see if LGD can defend the body. Still see here, RNG not really responding here. A lot of respect toward LGD as they take another tower.
You can see Ming is hovering off on the side here. They will spot RD there. Now they get onto Yuki.
Yuki gonna get into stasis. Pops the Zonya. Is gonna get taken down though, as that's the stopwatch being used, and RNG able to find a quick fight. There you go.
And unfortunately, it was just Yuki trying to clear out the wards, and it cost them their life. The rest of LGD had already abandoned ship there. They realized, look, we don't care about vision control down on that bottom side right now. It doesn't gain us anything. So we're going to move and try and get control back on this top side of the map. Yuki, though, didn't get the memo, ends up sticking around to try and kill a ward, and gets killed themselves.
See here, that's going to be the Moundrake started up on the side of RNG. See if LGD look to try and respond themselves. Yuki still down for another 12 seconds as Moundrake's going to be secured by RNG. So they're able to get themselves their second elemental Drake. It's going to be an Elder Drake coming out next as we're getting past that 35-minute mark. And both teams still playing this relatively slow. This is a bit weird to see.
And I know a lot of people will be looking at that play and go, okay, RNG are going to get Baron now. But you can't really do that when you're up against the likes of Nico. Simply because you try to all funnel in towards this pit, you're getting hit by all these different spells that are coming in off of the Nico, and to finish off that Pop Blossom as well. And you don't have the longest range on the AD carries. I mean, yes, you got Xayah there and does have the rapid fire, but she's still got to be in the pit to try and help out and really dish out that damage. And if you can't disengage, it's easy then for the remaining members of LGD to start shooting fish in the Baron pit.
And over here toward the side, we're just going to go ahead and clear out the wave, getting closer and closer to now 400 CS on both AD carries. So now getting ourselves into a later part of a game here for the LPL. 35 minutes. Conji's going to go ahead and clear out some vision around the Baron. Get rid of that control ward over the wall as well. And possibly look for a start here. LGD, they're going to finally start to make a play, and that Sivir can rip apart this Baron now. So RNG, we'll see if Karsa can get into the pit. Going to use that entrance. It's not going to happen, though. Able to get to safety, but only temporarily, as the auto attack will follow. And RNG, they're not able to respond for the Baron.
No, not in time. Even though Lies got spotted on that ward that was nicely placed off to the side, they're just too late to the party. LGD ripped through the Baron, and now they're looking towards the base of RNG. You don't have Karsa here, so you will have to see if they can maybe make some sort of flank play, but it looks like they're not even going to attempt it. They're just going to give up this inhibitor.
We'll see here. That's going to be the inhibitor getting taken down, and RNG are not able to respond. So now mid lane inhibitor exposed. Super Minion's going to start pushing toward the base, and RNG on the back foot here as LGD finally take themselves the lead after being behind for a majority of this game, and RNG not able to close it off.
And this is kind of unknown territory for the LPL, as you're saying, this 35-minute plus mark. But it does mean that Kramer's in a fantastic position. This Sivir is going to do way more work in these team fights than anyone else. But we're just going to look at a quick replay here. Karsa gets to 38 HP, so close to the steal. But Kramer is just about able to finish off that Baron. And now you're looking at this Sivir, has the Phantom Dancer completed, has a rapid fire as well. Kramer's in a fantastic position, and if they can't kill them quickly, won't be able to do so.
Going for it here, LGD coming around the corner. It's a flash on hook, and there comes the Pop Blossom onto 3 members. Tons of damage coming out as LGD are able to find 1 kill, and now that Nautilus ultimate, it's hunting for its next target, and Karsa's going to get put down into his Guardian Angel. He's going to get destroyed, and LGD, they find themselves 2 more kills than RNG.
And they try to commit everything towards Condi there, but that's not the target. We just said it, Kramer free hitting in that back line. An incredible engage comes through from Lies as well to just lock up everyone. And those bouncing blades are ricocheting through the hopes of RNG to take this game number 2. And as LGD stride confidently in towards their base.
Second inhibitor is going to fall here. RNG need to try and hold the base. LGD in their home arena. They were silenced early on in game 1, but it looks like they've been able to strike back here and try and take back game 2. Ming's gonna get hooked on in. Lang X is gonna try and jump. There's your Pop Blossom coming out from the Silas. Uzi's still alive, getting some damage. Guess what? Those turrets are already fallen. It's an exposed Nexus, and RNG, can they hold this base for how much longer? Kramer is able to spell shield. He's able to keep himself alive, and that's gonna be a triple kill, making it possibly a quadra coming out from the 8-8 carry, making a double for the Jace instead. And LGD, they strike back and tie up our series 1-1.
And what an incredible way to do it as well. I was so worried about them coming into that mid game. They hadn't really found their stride, overextending into the enemy jungle. But finally, as we start to creep towards the late game, Kramer is able to come online. Lies has these great engages. And I mean, Condi just has a target on his back for no real reason. RNG collapse onto the Olaf, try to kill them, and unfortunately gives all the opportunity for LGD to sweep the team fight and sweep the game.
And can take a look here quickly at our post-game stats. RNG, they had that mid-game. Unfortunately, they just weren't able to really do much with it. They kind of just stood in mid lane and watched LGD get some picks here and there. And you gotta criticize Xiaohu a little bit here. He had a really good early game, but man, the flanks he tried to keep getting in the mid-game, it just never worked out.
It just was a little bit messy coming through from RNG. I don't know if I can blame it solely on Xiaohu, just simply because you need a lot of working parts to get that play to happen, and it only gets exaggerated even more, those mistakes, when you've got so much speed on the side of LGD. We talked about already the acceleration gate on the hunt, and you've got the slowdowns that are coming in as well. So the second you go for a fight like that, or at least go for these flanks, if you're spotted out, you're going to get caught with your pants down, and that's essentially what happened to RNG.
Yeah, you know, looking for that perfect fight. Sometimes, though, you got to take, you know, 1 or 2 bad fights or some other fight. Yeah. Because honestly, LGD, they'll just happily ward up. And like you mentioned, that mobility really played key for them. So we're going to go ahead and take a short break. When we come back, though, we're going to go ahead and finish off our first series. And then we're going to go ahead and jump straight into the OMG versus Team WE series. So don't go anywhere, guys. We've got a lot more